to October 18th, 2025. In the evening hours, he's driving his vehicle, which was reportedly a BMW, and struck a 20-year-old pedestrian. At the time, he was not identified, but he was hit with significant force. Eyewitness accounts and CCTV footage described the victim being flung 60-70 feet into the air upon impact. Ghetts does not stop and assist or report the collision. Most deeply concerning thing is he kind of says, was ever caught drink driving in a situation, then he would pretty much leave the scene.
Yeah, what? If I was drink driving, you know I wouldn't dare stop. It would have been a motherfucking full-on chase. What? Nose on the look on face. Left, right, skirt, reverse, push on brake.
And that this guy made it as a rapper and ended up fumbling his whole career by catching a body.
Jesus. You good, Pete? Yo, we've even lost our camera.
A situation that can go from a laugh and a joke into a very serious situation where someone loses their life in brutal fashion is captured on camera and goes viral across the internet because a famous rapper is involved. This one is deep. 20 years plus, Ghetts has been establishing himself as one of the top rappers in the UK. But over the last week or so, you may have seen things in the media where his life took a dramatic turn, but more importantly, so did a young man that come to this country to better his life and was just crossing the road. But let's get into the story. So you guys get the point. He's an established artist. He's collaborated with all the top rappers, all your favorite in the UK, over 340,000 Instagram followers. But this guy had a history of driving offences. A few years back, he was caught talking to someone that just went past him when he was stopped for an incident related to driving.
Now, control, obviously.
He be swerving. Right away, they were saying he swerved.
I owned the car. I wasn't driving. These times, they've stopped me because I've come back to talk to them. So.
It seems like he's intoxicated in this video. I don't know. If you didn't hear clearly what he said that he was not driving the car, but he owns it and he's just come back to sort out the situation. It seems like he's trying to get out of whatever the police are trying to accuse him of here.
Just stop me and grab me.
So what's the reason he's being detained then? Have you asked him why he's being detained?
So
have you asked him why he's being detained?
I'm being detained because on suspicion of the driving,
like drinking and driving, like these types of problems.
Like, what do you? They told you what the suspicion's based on?
No, they ain't got no, because that was done before they even got it.
A little bit.
Okay.
So I've just come back to talk to them. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're being detained for no reason, basically. Innit? Fair enough.
Now, I've been around long enough that I covered this 5 years ago, saying Ghetts arrested. But the problem is, it takes something serious to happen. These offences of drink driving or getting stopped and searched for things are so common. It didn't really make the mainstream media like that because even though he's a well-known artist, so nothing really come of this to the public eye. He may have been charged in relation to this in his private life, but it wasn't a big deal in the media. And unfortunately, that's because drink driving and any driving offence in the UK are so common, it's not even worth speaking about in the media. Obviously, it could have been posted just because he's an established and known rapper and person of influence, but it wasn't. Now, if you do a little bit of research online, it says back in 2013, he had a drink driving conviction. This is being referenced now because of what we're going to get into in this video. It's confirmed in multiple sources as a prior motoring offence, and obviously it was detailed because of the October 2025 court proceedings. But also 2016, the video we just watched, it says Ghetts crashed a car registered in his name while allegedly intoxicated. He initially fled but returned claiming he was a passenger and police suspected otherwise. The incident was widely discussed on social media, in the communities and forums, and referenced again in the situation we're going to get into. Now, this makes all the blog pages, and he's been caught in a situation. It's going to go viral because he's potentially getting arrested here, and he addressed this in a song, basically saying that the blogs do not post his music, but when something bad happens, they want to post him.
Blogs that don't even post my songs, but they post my misfortune. Nah, the shit's awkward.
Blogs do not post my songs, but they post my misfortunes. Now, rappers always have a thing about only negativity being spread about them, but none of the rappers actually support the blogs either. This goes both ways. So obviously, he was in this situation, but the most deeply concerning thing is he kind of says, was ever caught drink driving in a situation, then he would pretty much leave the scene.
Yeah, what? If I was drink driving, you know I wouldn't dare stop. It would have been a motherfucking full-on chase. What? Nose on the look on face. Left, right, Skirt, reverse, push on brake.
Now, it's easy to
not
try and
a
hold
bar.
someone accountable after the situation, but we always talk about drill rappers talking about killing each other and having a bad influence,
Nah,
but
for real,
anything can influence the youth. But even worse, when they're driving, is when they listen to this type of music, and he's basically saying if he gets caught drink driving, he'll just flee the scene. And obviously we can
Right,
go
so
on
you're
for
saying
days
that's-
about the influence of lyrics and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but only becomes
influence and
relevant to
impression.
this story. Now we go to October 18th, 2025. In the evening hours, he's driving his vehicle, which was reportedly a BMW, and struck a 20-year-old pedestrian. At the time, he was
so he
not
hit somebody with a
identified,
car.
but he was hit with significant force. Eyewitness accounts and CCTV footage described the victim being flung 60, 70 feet into the air upon
70
impact.
feet, man.
Ghetts does not stop and assist or report the collision, fleeing a scene, a hit and run. Someone actually tried to perform
Ghetts-
CPR, which Ghetts had left the scene, and the ambulance comes. This guy's taken to hospital, and he does not die straight away, but ends up succumbing eventually to his injuries in hospital. When the police come
So, Ghetts is literally making music about how he's a drunk driving maniac. And then, as the months pass, this man hits a 20-year-old, hit him 70 feet in the air. You know how fast you gotta be driving? And then he hit and run. Put all that work in his career is all over.
arrest Ghetts, they say that his car was not even parked on his driveway. It was suspicious that it was left a little bit away from his house, so it was like he wasn't trying to get direct contact with the police. He probably knew that it would come at some point. And a few other details, like a missing part of the car was not on his car. They analysed CCTV footage from a petrol station and realised as well that he was the only person driving. So all these contributing factors see that he was arrested. But at the time, the victim is still in hospital and there's a possibility that he can recover. So it was only dangerous driving. And when he died, they had to change it by death by dangerous driving. Someone from their house managed to get footage of this incident. It's been posted all over the tabloids. It's been posted across social media, and it is so graphic. That's why I've blurred it out and gone for a lower angle of the video so you can't see exactly what happened. It will traumatize many people. I don't know the exact speed he was going at, but it must have been ridiculous to fling someone 60, 70 feet into the air. There's a few things that come out in the court details that Ghetts does not help himself at all here. If he did panic and flee the scene and didn't realize what happened, you wouldn't have parked your car further down the road. There's all these things like him playing dumb when the police come there, like he was trying to get himself out of this situation. Probably himself, he didn't know that the victim had died. The police would have told him that he's still alive at this point. When you hit someone with that much impact, you must have a clue that you've either seriously injured them for life or killed them. This is a really serious offence with the maximum sentence of life imprisonment recently increased from 14 years via 2022 sentencing guidelines. Additional charges like drink driving up to 14 years or failure to provide specimen could be added. And that's the added context to the situation here. You've left the scene. So not only have you reduced the chances of your victim surviving because you could be the first one to try and help him here, but you've also failed to provide the police with your information and your proof that you're not drink driving or drug driving in this situation. You completely left. Leaving the scene of the incident without any other offence is a serious charge in itself. Ghetts is well known and he's famous, and he recently spoke, I believe, on a BBC Live performance about how pedophiles get less time in jail than drug offences, and he's this philosophical rapper that people kind of idolise, so it was shocking to see him in this situation.
They're giving brothers life sentences for drugs, when a paedophile will probably get less than 20 months. And the same court, same day, same judge. We only break the law because the law tries to break us.
Ghetts is in an awful situation right now, but he's not the victim in this, and he's had prior warnings. We can see that he's been pulled over. Sometimes he's messed around and played with the idea of driving a little bit recklessly, even in videos. We have a sponsor for all of our videos now, guys, before we get into this. His thoughts in a Cully interview on GRM Daily, where he was kind of driving a little bit recklessly and it was poked fun at. He was doing some speeding in this video and it was deleted because of the obvious circumstances of which we're talking about in this video.
He was driving crazy in the color.
Jesus!
He cutting up.
You test out the ticket. Yeah. What can you look at and say, yeah,
and this is exactly what got him sent up the road.
What can you look at?
It looked fun, but he may never come home about this.
You good, Pete? Yo, we've even lost our camera.
I'll be honest with you, when I made that first initial update about this situation, I was going to make a follow-up video when I see all the details. There's been a bit more information. Now we'll get into the victim side of things, the more important part. But it was a video that deeply just disturbed me after I made it. It just shows how fragile life is. This guy was just walking down the road, minding his own business, and his life was taken away from him in the blink of an eye. It's just one of them situations that just disturb me thinking of it. And stuff like this on YouTube when someone's driving fast, it is just childish behavior in general. And I don't think people take it serious until something happens to someone they know, a family member, etc. And they look at drink driving and all different driving offences completely differently. But Ghetts' history online and the content we've seen has not helped the way that the public look at him in this case. And I see ZZ Mills on the Shade Bar the other day. She was going on a passionate rant about people wanting to see someone's downfall. Ghetts has caused this situation completely himself, and the more awareness this case gets, the better, because it affected me, and I'm sure it affected other people, and just made them look at everything seriously. You might call out a friend now that you think might drink drive, tell him to put down his keys, because no one wants to see a 20-year-old family member of theirs just walk into work in the morning and get hit out of nowhere.
Reasons you don't care about the family either. Every video it starts with thoughts with the family. Do you think the family wants to come online and hear about your conspiracy theories about their as to why they've lost their 20-year-old son? Manifestation. Do you think that a mother or a father wants to come online and see that their son's life has been taken away because you've resulted the death of their son's life to manifestation and karma? You don't care, and all of you lot in the comments don't care either.
I wouldn't put this situation down to manifestation or karma. It's just quite simply someone not learning from them actions when they get various warnings, and now selfishly it's affecting someone who was innocent. But people talking about this case will raise more and more awareness about drink driving. It's something that needs to be spoken about. Drink driving and dangerous driving, speeding, everything around that conversation to raise awareness is important. What I find kind of bizarre about ZZ Mills going viral on TikTok addressing this situation, that clip got over 1 million views from what I've seen, is that they addressed an issue in a music video. You got Ghetts on the screen here being stopped by police, but the other person in the music video is ZZ Mills playing the partner in the car, and they're addressing being stereotyped by the police. Obviously, she's taking a picture of him, she's a fan, but they're stopping him for no reason. But on that night, if Ghetts was stopped by the police and arrested, that situation would never have happened. ZZ Mills was in this video. She obviously knows Ghetts. This is a little bit more personal to her, but they're addressing the wrong issues here. Maybe someone with a past of speeding or drink driving should be regularly stopped on nights out.
Justice needs to be served. Justice is being served. He's in jail. He's been arrested. He's going to be charged.
That's true, that
face is everywhere. Someone said to me, "Oh, he needs to be named and shamed." It's everywhere. You don't, it's nothing to do with that. You lot just get a kick out of it.
I finally heard about
a kick out of it. Oh, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for like discussing things, but there's a way to do it, and there's a tactful way to do it.
ZZ does actually have good points in this rant that she had about the situation, but we have the mainstream media, then we have thousands of outlets across TikTok, YouTube, all different people going to cover it in their own way and give their opinions. That's just how the internet is now. Everything is amplified 10x. But if you actually take time to do some research and flick through some of the lyrics that Ghetts had and some of the previous situations he was arrested for, it was obviously more context to add as people went to add to this story. And I do think it makes it worse when you have lyrics basically saying that if you was drink driving, you would drive off after the police chased you. It was showing that you're basically mocking a situation, and it's happened. There's just the way the internet works, that this is going to be addressed and everything was going to be found and used against you. It's that day and age.
If I was drink driving, you know I wouldn't dare stop. It would have been a motherfucking full-on chase. The passy nose on the look on face. Left, right, skirt, reverse.
You could tell that's really his battle though, because you know how much you gotta drink to even have a bar come to your mind about drinking and driving? Like, who just goes, like, really imagine hopping in the stew and going, drinking, driving, I would stop. Like, what? You gotta drink. You gotta be drinking a pretty significant amount. That's like, if you don't smoke, you're not gonna be in a song talking like Snoop about smoking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be doing these things. So for him to be making music about drinking and driving, and then you catch a body drinking and driving, ruin a life, Oh, he's over with.
Push on break, jump out on
Like, and then you gonna say you're not supposed
You know,
to use
his
the lyrics
family
in
have put
court?
up his picture and they want justice in
supposed to
this
use the lyrics.
situation, and raising awareness to stuff like this does not happen again. It says this guy
For
was
sure.
a Nepalese student. He come over here and he was studying and he was just going about his day, and this freak situation happened. As expected, that his court date that he attended, this is going to be dragged up to Crown Court now because the magistrates can only deal with certain offences. It's a more serious charge now. Someone has died in this situation. He's expected in early November at some point to make a plea, and trial preparation could start as well if he pleads not guilty. And a full trial could take 6 to 12 months, and he's in remand right now. I'm pretty sure Ghetts will plead guilty, and I think people would be disgusted if he didn't. CCTV footage links Ghetts to the vehicle at the scene. There's forensics, damage to the tires, DNA traces. The police have everything. You know, a family member of the victims released a statement saying our hearts are shattered. He was full of kindness. We seek justice, not revengeance. They plan a fundraiser for road safety awareness as well. Many people look at this differently. Some people back in the day when they was younger may have made mistakes. Ghetts is over 40 years old now. They might have been in a driving situation. They could have done something to someone. It's about raising awareness and being mature enough to look at this in that aspect, that this could be anyone in your family or someone that you like or love just walking down the road that day. And if in the future, many years down the line, when he serves his time for this, there is a future for Ghetts, I'm not sure what kind of angle he takes or what PR company could deal with it for his comeback. Of course, he did not want that man to die, but he did not stop and help. If he was completely recklessly drunk as well, he could blame it on that. But I just do not see a way back for Ghetts right now in a completely clean slate like he had before. This is going to impact his career for the rest of his life and him as a person too. Rest in peace to the victim and their family. They're the massive sufferers in this situation overall. They never get to speak to that 20-year-old again. The court heard that Yabin...
Yeah, man. Ghetts is dead wrong, and it sounds like he's going to get the consequences, bro. People just be having habits and vices, and people think just because you get successful, you get a name, you get whatever whatever goals you set, now your vices and habits disappear. Like you know how they say when you get money, you just become more of who you want it to be. When you get fame, you'll be more who you want to be. So it's like, bro, this man couldn't get control of his problems, and it cost him his career. I appreciate y'all for watching the video and MasoMoney. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Watch another video, alright?